What's going on, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the Minesaga Server. We're doing a recap here. Now, for the record, I recorded this footage that you're watching right now quite a while ago and just never got around to editing it because life has been crazy busy. But in short, in summary, people were saying that, well, you didn't really make a villager spawner farm because there was no villager spawners. So in this episode that I had recorded here, you can see me actually putting down villager spawners, playing around with villager spawners, showing that the minion setup works perfectly, but there's a catch, and that's what brings us to where we are today. Hey, what's going on? The problem with the setup that I had, and I was using, I'll show you here, is that this is physically limited by the number of villagers you have, and the number of minions and the number of chests. And the reason being is that once you exceed, so let me give you a breakdown of what happens. You have villager spawners here. The villagers spawn, a whole bunch of them spawn at once. They go down into this flow they flow into this little circle. The minions kill them. The minions, because they're linked to a chest, fill up the chest full of loot. And if you have either tier 3 hoppers or if you have a void chest or both, what happens is that everything sells, and that's how you make a lot of money. Except when you have too many villagers. Now imagine if round numbers 100 villagers, when they're killed, drop a full chest of loot, right? So the void chest and tier 3 hoppers are selling stuff, but you get your 101st and 102nd and 200th villager. What's happening to all that loot? Well, it's lost, because once the minion kills the villagers, whatever loot it can puts it to the chest that it's linked to, and that's it. So any excess is lost. And so what I was finding is that I would watch a minion kill a villager, look at the chest, and the chest would instantly fill full of lapis. And if you know how this works on the server, is that it typically will drop lapis and roses as their drop, and that instantly, I keep saying instantly, that turned my thought to what if I'm overflowing, what if I have too much loot? And I think I had like 800 villagers dying at a time, and I'm thinking, if each one of them, and I just did some quick napkin math, I said, oh, this is horrible, I'm losing so much money, so much potential. And so I switched to a whole bunch of things. The first thing I did was, attached to this area, I made a water canal system where the villagers would drop, they'd fall into lava, they would die, their loot would get transported into a water canal that would move the items until the ground items clear. So it would just move the items in a big square over tier 3 hoppers. And so as the items pass over the hoppers, they get sucked in and they get sold. That works in theory. However, the way the server works is that the hoppers don't pull and aren't looking to pull items every tick. They're doing it at a certain interval. I'm not quite sure what that is. So what happens is that items pass over the hoppers, and every once in a while, the hoppers actually pull the items. So what I noticed is that even with, like 800 villagers dying at a time, there was just constant overflow, always, no matter what. I thought, okay, hold on. There's got to be a system that works with overflow and that there's not an excess of items and it actually can keep up with it. And I came up with this. This is the most detailed, extreme, difficult example to show you. I'm just being facetious. This is the easiest thing you can do. The simplest thing you can do once you have in excess of like 500 villagers dying at a time, I would say switch to this almost instantly, and you will notice a significant linear growth as you get more villager spawners, being that these are all tier 3 hoppers connected to void chest. Technically, you don't need the void chest. However, sometimes if the hoppers absorb the items, if they suck up the items, but the you know, for whatever reason, it will transfer. Sometimes it happens. It'll at least transfer to a void chest, and the void chest will sell it anyway. So you can go ahead and sell the void chest and just buy tier 3 hoppers, and that works just the same. So you can see here I have, what, 19? Yeah, 19 tier 3 hoppers. I need way more, and you'll see why in a second. So we're going to head up there. As you can see, we got a platform up there. So I'm going to type ISGO. This is my little platform here. And these are all my villager spawners. I have just over 3,000 here. Each one of these stacks is 250. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then a couple of these here. So there's about 3,000 villager spawners here. And what happens is, as you can see, they go and then they drop and they die. And what happens is that all of this gets sucked up by the hoppers. Whether it lands on the hopper or not, they all get sucked up by a hopper. And so what I want to do is I want to have this entire platform full of hoppers, at least most of it, and call that a day. You can see they all got absorbed into the hopper and automatically sold. And so that is the simplest way to create an effective, simple, and mostly future-proof villager spawner farm. Again, the system that I have over there does work, but it works up to a point where once you start having overflow or excess items that can't fit into one double chest worth of loot, then you have to upgrade, and more minions doesn't work because it just doesn't. What tends to happen is that the same minion will kill the other villagers, which means you're definitely losing because that chest is still full or being sold, etc. So I found that 3, maybe 4 minions you can kind of get away with in that type of setup. Maybe a bigger setup would allow for more minions, but what I found was just it was too much for 4 minions. So I adapted to this, which is they drop down, and again they die. It's about 100-foot drop. So you can see here I'm at Y31. If I go to where they drop, approximately where they drop from, we're looking at about 145. So I went a little over 100 just to be safe. And I played around with like 30, 60, 90, and I just found it was inconsistent at 90. At 100 plus, they always died. So I just put it at 100 plus. And you can see I still have overflow because I only have 19 tier 3 hoppers. And you might be like, wow, that's a lot of tier 3 hoppers. It is, but it's still too much for what I have up there. And you can see on the right hand side, I have 7.7 billion. And can I tell you that was made over the last maybe 16 to 18 hours of AFKing, of just letting this run. Not active, not buying and selling, just literally just doing nothing. But I clearly have an overflow. And so I need to buy more tier 3 hoppers. However, tier 3 hoppers are going for like 1 billion each. Whereas when the server Jurassic World first started, it was like maybe 200 million each. So they've exponentially gone up in price, and that's mainly because of the supply and demand. It's difficult to get tier 3 hoppers. The best way to get tier 3 hoppers is through the crate system, through basic and through advanced keys. You can see you can get hoppers there, and actually a pretty high chance of getting hoppers. Whereas basic keys also have a chance to get hoppers, and legendary keys obviously have a chance to get hoppers as well. And I will tell you though, the best way, believe it or not, to get these keys is through your treasure kit. Now, you don't always get the treasure kit, and if you subscribe, like it says on the little description there, if you subscribe to the store, you can actually get your treasure kit. And don't quote me, I think it's monthly. I think it's 30 days you buy it for. I don't have it, but you can win it from other crates. So it's a rare chance. It's somewhere here, sorry. Right there, legendary key. No, there's a way to get a kit. Sorry, I'm not quite sure, but there is a way to get a kit. And that way you have it for 14 days. And you have a 14-day essentially like limit, and every 3 days you can get your legendary keys, or you get your keys from your legendary kit. And that's the best way to get tier 3 hoppers right now. That's the most unfortunate part, is that there is a serious lack of supply of tier 3 hoppers, and the market is just not favorable. Let's just open up the auction house. I can confidently say I've been through 3, maybe 4 seasons of the Minesaga Jurassic Realm. This is the worst season economy-wise for new players. By far the worst. Ender Mage eggs, they should be going for about 500 to 600 mil. They're going for triple the price. Void chests are going for people are selling for even like 1 billion, where they should be worth like 200 to 300 million. People are selling bottles of XP. That right there, well, actually that's a lot of XP, but that should be about 650, 600 and maybe 700 million. They're selling for 1 billion. Everything's inflated. Iron Golem spawners, that's a small sale. That should be like 200 million for that amount. So there's 5 billion for a pterodactyl rank. It's just not good. If we're looking here, let's see if there's a tier 3 hopper in here. There's no tier 3s. That's how little supply there is. But there's a crazy demand for it. So what I would say to anyone playing on this realm, or playing on this season of the Jurassic realm, is to just have fun. This season's a bit of a wash. It hasn't been great economy wise, and it's even worse now. But have fun. Don't be begging in chat for money. Just make money. Build some cool structures. Buy some really cool things. Make some really cool things. Maybe work on your island level. Mine's 18,000. I'm going to try to get that to 100k. Maybe a million. And you can do that by the easiest way is make a lot of money and then just buy a sponge for 720. You can see that's 400 mil, and that didn't even dent my money. Like that's, yeah. Anyways, thanks guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And if you want to see more, or you want to know more about the Minesaga server, Jurassic Realm, how to make spawners, how to do anything interesting or creative, just let me know. I would love to help you guys with that. But aside from that, hope you guys enjoyed. We're going to be back on the Minesaga server, hopefully with a few more tier 3 hoppers. But more importantly, we're going to do some cool builds on the server because, again, the economy is kind of messed up. And I mean, with 7 billion, I really don't have much else to buy. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Take care and bye-bye.